today we will teach you how exactly to build a basic React app. So next, what we will do is, see, we have course overview, learning outcomes, tools and environment, and all the necessary items that we are going to discuss in this course. Okay, these are the things that we will be discussing. So, course overview. So, as you already know, this is a 5-day hands-on training program. So, let us see what React is exactly before we start our course. Okay. So, React is basically a JavaScript library that is used to build interfaces, user interfaces, I say. What I mean by user interfaces is what user sees on the website and interact with on the website basically. So, for example, a button or a page, all these things are user interfaces. So, um, so basically, what React is mainly used for is to build single page applications. Okay, it's called SPA, which means that the page does not reload again and again. So if there is some changes, you don't have to reload the page again. It automatically does the update for you, and it only loads the part of the web page or the website that has been changed. So let's say, for example, we have a form. So we say we change a button element. Okay, say we have the text as submit, but we will change it to say clear. Okay, so the whole page does not load itself. It just loads submit button. Okay, nothing else will change. So this is the basic of React. Okay, so in this course, we will focus on hands-on coding with real-world examples, and each day will include a guided in-class assignment that I will be creating, and in parallel, you could create it yourself while looking at what I am doing. And we cover modern React features like hooks and APIs. Okay, so let's go to the next page. So in this course, another thing is in this course, we will not just learn theory, we will also do practical experiences. So whenever you have doubt, please do let me know so that we can solve it together. So what, okay, learning outcomes. So what do we do at the end of, okay, at the end of 5-day course, what exactly do you know? What exactly will you be able to do? So those things are, understand React fundamentals. So how to build an app, what does basic React things do? What are the main features we do in day-to-day usage, etc. So we also can create and manage components as in buttons, as in different pages, everything. Okay, using JSX, of course, using JavaScript extendables. So we use JavaScript. Along with that, we use HTML code. Okay, we will look into it a little later. We also use React hooks, use state, use effect to manage state and side effect. What this means is, so use state and use effect are some kind of inbuilt functions from React that loads the data when there is some change. That we will discuss as well. Fetch and display live data from API. So our fourth assignment is basically fetching data from a country's API and then displaying it, you know, so that we know how to fetch data and then display it again. So then comes user handling, handle user input and forms efficiently. So how differently we, okay, in HTML, we have a different method of handling user data from the input forms, whereas in React, we have a different method. So we will look into it. Okay. Then develop and run complete React applications locally. So basically in our machine. So we will not be using any host services or anything, just in our machine, so that in the future we could also, host it on the web, on the browser. Yeah. Next, apply best practices for clean and readable React code. So basically, this means adding comments, adding appropriate indentations, adding appropriate function names, for example. All these come under best practices for clean and readable code. So tools and environment setup. So the basic things that we need is Node.js and npm that we will be installing after verifying if we have it or not. Second part is VS Code. I would recommend it because it is easier for us to do it rather than in Eclipse or anything. Web browser, Chrome is preferred as usual, and then my SQL Workbench. So at the end of the session of this session, I will give you the link to download and also a YouTube video on how to install MySQL Workbench on your local system. Then, uh, what do we do? So, what do we do after installing all these tools? So we create a React project, understand what project structure, folder structure means. So, for example, there are two project folders. So front end and for back end. Okay, and running a development server. So we have an inbuilt React server. So we will be using that. And fourth one, basic debugging using browser tools. Say, for example, if something doesn't work, how do we do it? How do we understand what exactly is happening, where exactly what is going wrong? So we will do that as well. Okay. Next, React foundations. Okay, let's come to actually what React means. Okay. So what is React and why is it used? So React is basically a subset or a JavaScript libraries that is used to create efficient components for the user interface. Okay, so for example, it is quicker when you know what exactly it's doing. So for example, if we have a huge project, okay, one page, two pages right now doesn't matter. Okay, in real world, a website contains multiple pages, multiple components, everything. So when we are using React, what happens is it will create small reusable components. Okay, so for example, a button can be a component, a header can be a component, a footer can be a component. Literally anything that we use within React JavaScript file can be used as a component and can be reusable in the future. So I can, for example, if I create something in project A and I want to use it in project B, I can always import it and then use it. So code reusability is there. And this React is always made up of small applications. Okay. So then what is a single page application? So as I already said, single page application is is a React feature that only enables you to load a particular portion of the web page or the website where changes have been made. So you don't need to reload the whole website or the web page, just a particular section. Say, for example, we have a table. So we make changes only to the table and we have a few buttons. So only if you make changes to the table, only the table portion is reloaded, not the buttons portion. It will remain the same. So this helps in efficiently working and faster working of the React app. So component-based architecture. What does component-based architecture mean? So what we do is here, okay, think of Lego blocks. Okay, Lego blocks are different components. Say you have three-lined Lego block. You have a four piece Lego block. Lego. So all these are called basic components. Okay. So we make use of these small components in order to build a bigger structure. Say for example, we build a house, we build an aeroplane, we build something else with help of all these small Legos. This is the this is called component based architecture. We do not focus on pages, complete pages as such, but we focus on small components. Okay. So, any questions until now? If not, we will go to the introduction of JSX. Any questions? Okay, let's continue. Introduction to JSX. Okay. So JSX is a short form for JavaScript extendable. Okay. React uses JSX, which looks like HTML, but it is actually JavaScript. Or I would say it is JavaScript and uses HTML inside it as well. So you can have logic for the code, you can have HTML tags, you can have so many things. But important thing is they are both combined in together. Okay. So JSX also allows you to write UI code in a readable way. Okay. And this is very important to us. React works by putting together little building blocks. Okay. So we can have multiple JSX elements. So each might have a different code. So one might have the logic for calculation, one might have logic for rendering, one might have logic for backend. It doesn't matter, but all these JSX codes are called components. So basically, we build our React app using these small JSX components. Okay. So now let us understand what app.js means. Okay. So every React app, in order to load, makes use of a main component called app. Okay. This app has basics like what needs to be displayed, what headers should be there, what the content of the page should be there. That is included in app.js. Okay. So now we use, in order to create a website with React, we use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Clear? So any questions? No? Okay. So now we will try to create a basic of ReactJS. Okay. So let me just share my screen again, entire screen, and share. Okay. So let us, okay, sorry. Okay. Here we will create a new folder. We will select a new folder called ReactJS course. Okay. We will create a new folder here called Hello World. Okay. And select. So first, what we need to do is we need to install React into our system. Okay. So in order to do that, we need npm. That is the Node.js or the Node package manager. Okay. Let's see if the npm is installed or not. So we say npm -v. So this displays version if the npm is already installed in our system. Else, we will have to install npm again. So as you can already see, when I run npm -v, we have 11.5.2. That means our we already have a Node package manager installed. So what we do is now we create a basic. Okay, we create a basic Hello World React program. Okay, for that we need to make use of the npx create React app and the app name. So let's say Hello World. Okay, and then click on enter. So this takes some time in order to install all the React basics into our system. So now let us see another thing. Okay. So we did this. Okay. So let's see our basic React app. Okay. 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 So see, as I told you, we will have an app.js, which will have all the components that needs to be displayed in our web page. Okay. So here, let us see. Here, we will have this. Okay. Export default function, my app, and return. Okay. An export default function should always have a return statement in order to return whatever is inside it. Okay. So now what we do is we say h1. See, as I told you, we are using HTML, correct? The div tag, h1 tag, all these are HTML tags, correct? So first, what we do is we say h1 welcome to my app. Okay. So what it does is it will say in the web page, in the body, it will display welcome to my app. But we also have another tag called my button. But as you can see, my button starts with a capital M, and it does not have an opening and a closing tag. It just has a all-in-one tag. So this kind of tag that has opening and closing in one and begins with a capital letter is called a React tag. So any JSX or any function can be exported and used as a tag in our React. Okay. So what we do is normally in this, we just have our basic h1 tag, and all the logics will be in a JSX file that we import and use it as a React tag in order to shift the control into another portion. So here it is in the same file. So once we call this, it will take the control to line 1. So function my button, it will return button, I am a button, and it will return the control back to here, and it will close that. Okay. Another important thing here is a return cannot have more than one return element. So for example, more than one root element. So if we remove div here and have h1 and my button, it will always throw an error. Okay. So in order to overcome it, we use uh, a React fragment, that is an empty opening and closing tag, or a div tag. So if you look at it this way, the root element that is returning will always be single element. Okay, that is div. But root element can have multiple children elements. That will not give us an error. But the root element should only return once. So div will be returned. So we will not have any issues. Okay, see, our output will be welcome to my app. So h1 is printed, and then my button. So here, button, my button is printed. Okay, so let us try. Okay, now you can see we already have everything installed. So it suggests we do cd hello world app. So it says go into the hello world app, that is the React app, and then npm start. Let us see what happens. Yeah, since this is the first time we are starting our React server, it will take a little bit of more time in order to load everything. Yeah, now you can see our basic React app. So you see here, we have our link, we have our text, and we have a logo that is being displayed as well. And you can see it is hosted at localhost 3000. We are not giving it any number. It is the default number the server is taking. Say, for example, there is already another server running at 3000. So it will automatically take the next number, that is 3001. I mean, it will ask for us. So if we say, yes, please take another port, it will automatically take localhost 3001. If we say no, it will stop it and ask for us to run it again. Okay. Any doubts until now? No? Okay. So let us start with basic. Okay. So let's go to Hello World and let's go to SRC. As I already told you, all our data that needs to be displayed inside this page will be in app.js, which is under Hello World, source, app.js. So here we have so many things, right? So what we will do now is we do not need this particular logo. We do not need this link. We do not need this text. All we need to do is we need to display a H1 tag that says hello world. So what we will do is we will remove everything within return and just say H1 hello world. And as you can see, we already have a hello world displayed. Okay. So, but here it is giving some warning. Let us see what the warning is. Okay. Here, problem. It says logo is defined but never used. So it is in line 1. See here. Okay. Line 1, column 8. Correct? So in order, I mean, warning is a warning. It doesn't stop the app from being executed. So now what we do is we just remove the logo, this particular import, and there's no problems, there's no warning. But still our app works even if we do not delete it. Okay. So this is our basic React app. Okay. Now you can see the terminal as well. It is compiled successfully. There is no warning. As previously, there was compiled with one warning. Now successfully compiled. So this is our basic Hello World program. Okay. So I will show you another thing. So as I discussed, it cannot have two elements. Okay. My name is Mridula. Okay. So see, it displays an error compiled with problems. What problem? Here. We can go to here and say JSX expressions must have one parent element. That means only one root element can be different. See, parsing error. Adjacent JSX elements must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. Did you want a JSX fragment? Yeah. So what? In order to overcome this issue, we add a div tag. Okay. And then we have H1 and H2 as its child tags. Okay. So now this error shouldn't appear and we will be able to display both H1 and H2 tags. As you can see, we have both H1 and H2 tags. So say we want another paragraph tag. It shouldn't be a problem. This is my first React app that is used for demo purpose. Oh, purpose. As you can see, we do not have any issues. Everything is getting displayed properly. So it can have multiple child tags. It can have image. It can have a React tag. It can have a H1, H2, anything. But we will discuss how to create a HTML React. Sorry, not a HTML tag. We'll see how to create a React tag in our next set. Okay. Now let's move on with our course. So now there's some interesting topic called hooks. Okay. Hooks and time-based logic. Okay. Now what happens is, what is a hook? Okay. We will talk about that. Okay. So hooks allows us to use functional components. Okay. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Okay. Now we have covered all the basics of React. We know how the components work, how to render it with app.js and everything. Okay. So now there might be some time in the future wherein we will need to store data and then update data as and when required. Okay, so in order to do this, we use an inbuilt function, a few inbuilt functions from React called hooks. Okay, so we use something called useState. Okay, so useState allows our React page to remember values. Okay, and then update it when there is change in values. Say, for example, um we okay say for example we can say, okay, you count. Okay, so you are counting something. Initially the count would be set to 0. So what we do is we set the count to 0, and there should be an update function. So say you have attended class 1, so the counter should say be set from 0 to 1. So in order to do that, we have to have an update function. So useState provides both these logics. Okay, you can have the update function as well as the variable. Okay, storing data. Okay, let us see how to do this. Okay, our next program is to do this. Use useState. Okay. Also, there is an other interesting hook that we use almost in every program. It is called use effect. Okay. Use effect is used when something needs to happen. Say, for example, okay, so when our API loads, okay, we need something. So it automatically needs to run, okay, our particular function. So let us not go to API. Let us use a daily example. Okay, so let us think about waking up. Okay, every day as soon as you wake up, you open your eyes, correct? So it should be done automatically. You don't need someone to tell you to open your eyes. So use effect does this for a React application. So whenever you use effect, we need to pass in a logic which executes automatically when the React page loads. So for example, in this case, getting up. So as soon as you get up, you need to open your eyes. That is what needs to happen. So we write a logic, we say use effect and write a logic stating, okay, as soon as you wake up, open your eyes. Without using use effect, the React knows there is a function to open eyes. It doesn't understand when to open your eyes. So in order to do that, we need to use effect. So any questions regarding this? If there is no question, we will start our React project. Okay. Yep. So we will close this project and then open a new project. Open folder, desktop, summer1, React project, and we have our new project. That is world clock. Okay. Correct. So again, we need, okay. So let us refer our README file for this. Okay. We have a README file that has step-by-step instructions on what needs to be done in order to build this world clock. Okay. So README.1. We will go here. Okay. So technologies we use ReactJS, UI framework and interactivity, HTML, CSS. Okay. So prerequisite is Node.js is a must. So let's verify if Node.js is available. So npm minus. So we already have our Node.js. So if we have it, then we will be not executing the next part, installing npm. So we will go to step 2, that is npx create. Npx create React app. So let's say world clock app. Okay. So it's installing. So before before this is ready, we will just run through the steps. Okay. Now we did the step 2. The app name should always contain lower letter alphabets. Okay. Else it will throw us an error. Okay. Then we need to change the directory and start our development server. Okay. That we will do automatically. And as I already told, the local host will be 3000. Okay. So we will close this. Okay. Let's go back. Okay. Then, okay. Then we will say modify app.js file. As you already know, we did modify it. We deleted all the things that were inside and then we replaced it with something else. Okay. So now let us see what needs to be done. Okay. Delete the logo SVG import statement. Okay. Then delete all the lines of code between the return and app function. Add the following statements in the return. So this is called a fragment. So instead of using div, we can also use this empty React, okay, empty tags. This is a React feature wherein it groups all the elements as a single element. Okay, so it can have P, it can have H1, it can have H2, it can have any number of children, but it will all group it into exactly like div, but it does not have any uh, tags as such. This is called a fragment, React fragment. Okay. Then what we do is we group all the JSX files. Okay. So in the source folder, it might have multiple things, but we do not need everything to be in a this one. Else it will get confusing. So normally what we do is we have a separate folder for all the JSX files. Okay. Normally it is called pages. Okay. So inside source, we create another folder called pages and store all our JSX files there. Okay. Another thing is we need to have export default function page one. So what happens is if we write the logic also, we should be able to use it in another file inside our project. So in order to be able to use it, we export the function. Okay, if we do not use this, we will not be able to use this page or the logic in this page in any other uh, files of our React project. Okay. Oh, it's already done. So let's go back. Let's go back to our terminal and say cd world clock app and npm start. Okay. As I already told you, since we are loading it for the first time, the React development server will take a little bit of time to compile everything and load. And as you already seen, we have our React app and we will go back. So what did it say? We did step 3 and we did step 4. Now we will do step this one, modify app.js. Okay, we'll go back here and app.js. We will not be deleting any files because it doesn't affect us in any way. This step 5 and step 6 are optional. Okay, but we will not do it for now so that you understand that there is no issue. Okay, so here delete the logo svg statement. We delete it. And then the next step is delete all the lines of code between return statement and app function. So what we are going to do is we are going to delete lines from 5 to 20. Right? We're going to give it. But there is an error here. Okay. What error do we have? Expression expected, parsing token. So return should always have something inside it in order to be able to return. Okay. So what we will do is we will copy this line of code and paste it here. Okay. And let us see our output. Okay. Let's go back. See, there's already my React app. So what happened was this was saved, compiled, and then rendered into the system. Okay. Now we will go back and see. Oh, next step, verify the output. Now the React application is ready. See, we have our React application here. Correct? Next would be step 8, grouping the JSX files. Okay. Now, what do we need to do? Create a folder called pages under SRC. So under SRC, we say